Total Sports Zone. All sports, all action, one zone.
All right, let's jump in a time machine for a minute. We're heading to January 2026. Picture this. The Boston Celtics are right there on the cusp of a title, but they're missing that one final piece. So today, we're going to break down a hypothetical dream trade that could just push them over the top.
And that's really the big question, right? The 2026 Celtics are a really good team. But are they championship great? We're going to dive into whether a single blockbuster move could be that final piece of the puzzle. But first, let's set the scene a little bit.
So, to really get this, you got to understand what's happening in this 2026 season. The Celtics are in this kind of strange but surprisingly successful spot. They're outperforming all the expectations, even with a massive hole in their lineup.
Yeah, you heard that right. Their superstar, Jason Tatum, is on the sidelines recovering from a ruptured Achilles. Now, that's a devastating injury that would absolutely sink most teams, but not these Celtics. Under coach Joe Mazzulla, they're not just, treading water. They're actually one of the top teams in the East.
And a huge reason for that is this guy right here, Jaylen Brown. He has absolutely taken the leap. He's the undisputed #1 option, no question. He's pouring in nearly 30 points a game. His playmaking has gotten so much better. And yeah, nobody's making jokes about his left hand anymore. He's been just phenomenal.
But here's the thing. Even with Brown playing like a superhero, there's this one glaring weakness. It's a problem that became super obvious after a busy offseason. And honestly, it could completely derail their championship hopes if they don't fix it.
So the Celtics' big man rotation is, well, let's just say it's thin. The guys they have are playing hard for sure, but after losing the sheer size and skill of Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford from that 2024 championship team, they're just getting outmatched against the league's best centers.
And look, the problem isn't just about one thing. Boston didn't just lose size. They lost crucial three-point shooting from that center position. To get back to their championship formula, they desperately need a modern big man who can do both, protect the rim and stretch the floor.
So who on earth fits that exact description? Well, enter the dream target. A player who seems almost tailor-made for Boston's system, Memphis Grizzlies big man, Jaren Jackson Jr. His skill set is just a perfect match. You've got a former Defensive Player of the Year, so his shot blocking is absolutely world-class. He can knock down the three, which is a total non-negotiable in Boston's offense, and he's versatile enough to switch on defense and get you some points. He ticks every single box.
And this right here really gets to the heart of why he's such a perfect fit. JJJ isn't the kind of guy you build a whole franchise around as your #1 option. He's the ultimate modern support piece. And for a team that already has Tatum and Brown, that's not a knock. It's the exact ingredient they're missing.
You could even argue he's not just a replacement, but a straight-up upgrade in some areas. He gives you more rim protection than Porzingis did, and he's way more mobile on the perimeter than Horford was. He would let Boston run the exact same 5-out offense and switch everything defense that won them a title in the first place.
But of course, no player is perfect, right? And with Jaren Jackson, the big question mark has always been his work on the glass. For a center, he's a notoriously poor rebounder. So how could a contending team possibly live with that? Well, the answer really lies in the rest of the roster. The Celtics are built on strong team rebounding. When Tatum gets back, you've got him, Brown, and Derek White all crashing the boards exceptionally well for their positions. The whole system is basically designed to cover for this exact weakness, which makes it a flaw you can manage. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but it begs the most obvious question of all. Why on earth would the Memphis Grizzlies trade a player this good? Well, the situation down in Memphis in 2026 is, let's just say, it's complicated.
The Grizzlies are in a total tailspin. They're losing, they've already traded Desmond Bane for a boatload of picks, and it really looks like a full-blown rebuild is happening. And you know how it is. When a team starts selling off pieces, sometimes everyone becomes available for the right price.
But the real domino that needs to fall here is Ja Morant. See, the Grizzlies would probably love to trade him and his massive contract, but the hard reality is the market for him has gone ice cold for some very, very clear reasons.
The issues are pretty obvious when you look at it. His scoring efficiency has plummeted, a bunch of injuries have cost him that elite athleticism, and all the off-court concerns make his huge salary a massive, massive risk. So, if Memphis can't move Morant, they've got to pivot to their next most valuable asset, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. So the opportunity is there. But let's be real. Championship caliber players do not come cheap. Getting a guy like Jackson Jr. would mean the Celtics have to push all their chips to the center of the table. No holding back.
Okay, so how do you even make a deal like this work? Well, the foundation of any trade is making the salaries match up. That's where Anthony Simons' large contract comes into play. But that's just the start. On top of that, Boston would have to send a ton of draft picks. We're talking at least 2 and maybe even 3 future first-rounders to get Memphis to even pick up the phone.
And hey, let's not forget about the money here. Jackson is on a massive contract himself, averaging over $50 million a year. So this isn't just a trade of players and picks. It's a huge, huge bet on the Celtics' future payroll.
So here's the most crucial point. While the cost is incredibly high, the core of the team would stay right where it is. Any deal would have to be built around the absolute certainty that Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White are untouchable. They're not going anywhere. This new Big Four would be the foundation for their title hopes.
And all of this brings us to the final calculation. You've got a massive cost in picks and salary on one side and the potential payoff of an NBA championship on the other. So is the juice worth the squeeze?
So what's the verdict? Look, the price is steep. It's absolutely a gamble. But for a team that's this close to a title, with its 2 superstars right in their prime, it's a risk you pretty much have to take. After all, those championship windows, they don't stay open forever.
And that leaves us with this final thought to chew on. In today's NBA, where you've got supermax contracts for all the top guys, how much is too much to pay for that perfect complementary 3rd or 4th star? It's really the central question of modern team building, and for a hypothetical 2026 Celtics, the answer could be the difference between just another good season and planning a championship parade.